Hello and welcome to this series of short videos on the VCE Media exam pressure points. These are terms and questions that students typically stumble upon. This is the second video in this series and it's focusing on structural and aesthetic qualities. Now, these terms might appear within the media production process questions, and they're two long, complicated words that look a little bit scary, but just like our previous video on construction and characteristics, it all boils down to codes and conventions. Yes, structural qualities are the features of your media production that construct or build the narrative. Essentially, we're talking about discussing conventions here that give your product its shape, its order, or its structure. So if you have created a print product, you might talk about the order and the layout. If you've created a film product, you might talk about the structuring of time. On this slide, if you pause, you can have a look at a number of the things for your particular media form that create the structural qualities. So for instance, we could have a thriller that is presented from the point of view of the killer. Now that is a structural quality. In photography, the order in which you present your images creates the structure of the overall photography series. And so if structural qualities relate to conventions, aesthetic qualities are the features of your media product that construct its look and feel. They are the things created by media codes. And we can use terms like style or mood or visual appeal to define some of our aesthetic qualities. For instance, this image here, you might say has a neon aesthetic or a vibrant, colorful aesthetic. And so, like the structural qualities, your aesthetic qualities are created by these things for each of the different media forms. And so when defining your own aesthetic qualities, you need to think about what the particular look or the particular mood is of your product. So let's just look at some student work as examples here. This print product, you might say, has a minimalist aesthetic. This is created by the negative space used in the layout, the large margins, the monochrome color scheme, the line illustrations, etc. This one, you might say, has a surreal or a dreamy aesthetic. This is achieved through the use of editing and color, making it extra vibrant and not of this world. This photo series you might label not in terms of the look, but instead in terms of the mood that it generates. So we could label this a melancholic or a sad aesthetic. This is achieved through the black and white editing, the low camera angle, and the high contrast lighting. And finally, this horror film, you might say, has a chilling aesthetic. This is achieved through the lighting and the mise en scène in terms of the costuming and props. So again, when we're talking about structural and aesthetic qualities, they look like scary words, but they are referring to things that we know and are comfortable with. They are, for structural qualities, the distinct use of conventions, and aesthetic qualities, the distinct use of codes in order to create a look or a mood.